just had me and Strohmeyer. So, yeah, Annie, take it away.
I have myself, Annie Cathy, Adrian Beck, Kayla Talbert, Kyla Leonard, Sarah Bell, Violet Plummer, Connor McCauley, Martin Kidston, MCAT, and it looks like in 206 we have Commissioners Vero and Strohmeyer, Brian West, Jason Emery, Andrew Chorney, Ann Hughes, Allison France,
And Bonnie Buckingham.
Bonnie Buckingham. All right. Is there anybody else that I missed?
Oh, thanks so much, Annie.
Thank you.
Are there any public comments on items not on the agenda? And we have a lengthy consent agenda.
A lot of PHC.
A lot of employees. Is there anything that needs to be pulled out and discussed separately? Does anyone have any comments? The consent agenda?
Would move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Yay, PHC. Oops, and I guess we're gonna postpone item 2. Sorry, so it's Kayla.
Yeah, hi, good morning, everyone. Kayla Talbert with Grants and Community Programs. I am here to request the board board chair sign the Montana Department of Commerce Community Development Block Grant Program contract. And this is for the emergency food distribution sites in 3 areas in Missoula County: Ventura Mobile Home Park, Lolo, and Bonner. Missoula County received a grant on behalf of the Missoula Food Bank and Community Center to provide food assistance to these 3 areas because during the pandemic, there was an increase in the need for food for low, moderate income seniors and families. And so the food bank took upon themselves to increase their activity in these sites, but had to shut down because of limited funds. And so when we received this grant, they were able to bring these services back on site. And so this grant is for $256,276. The county received $22,950 for grant administration, and then the remaining $233,326 will go directly to the food bank to support the food distribution at those 3 locations. The next steps for this grant will be to get the subrecipient agreement signed by the food bank and then process the first reimbursement so that they can continue with the food distribution.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't have any questions. Does anyone else have comments?
Sounds like a good program to continue. I would move that we authorize the chair to sign the contract.
Okay. Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Jason.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Kayla. Jason Emery.
All right, so we are here today with Bonnie Buckingham with CPAC, which is Community Food and Agriculture Coalition. Yes, learning that. So we have worked out a deal with them to provide temporary rental space in this building so they can move out of their current spot, which you're about to lose, I believe.
We did last week.
You did lose it, okay. So we're gonna provide 3 cubicles on the first floor of the admin building that they'll rotate their staff through to have a space to work. So we'll be providing meeting space and such, in the anticipation that there'll be a long-term agreement with Lalonde Ranch as we work on that project. So this is a lease agreement for that 1-year term. I believe we're paying $1,000 a month. You are to the county. And we're providing just basic services. They have their own internet connection. They'll kind of do their own IT and just make good use of space that is currently unoccupied.
And then when do we, what's the timeline or,
So you're probably moving next week, yeah?
Next Tuesday.
and
if
then
possible. For
for
a
next
year.
year for then, for Lalonde, or I guess, I don't know, if Martin or Connor,
Mhm.
does you know about Lalonde's plans?
Well, I can speak to that.
Yeah.
So, and this is probably not on the radar of many other folks on the line. So this has been part of a multi-year effort to remove the cloud of uncertainty surrounding the Lalonde Ranch that for many years was in jeopardy of sadly being lost as one of our significant historic and cultural sites here in Missoula County. A few years ago, we, as an attempt to put the future of the ranch on a more solid footing, adopted, after a long process of engaging stakeholders, adopted a strategic framework for the management of the Lalonde Ranch as a cultural property of Missoula County. And today is part of the sequence of events that will lead to hopefully at some point opening the site up to the public for interpretation and education, and in recognition that the site is a great snapshot of the agricultural history of agricultural development history in the Missoula Valley. It made a lot of sense to look at a potential tenant for the site that also aligns with the values of the site, and that is this agricultural history. So Community Food and Agriculture Coalition is I think the entity that we would love to see occupying the site, and as an intermediate step to that end, and the main house at the Lalonde Ranch is the building that we will be looking at doing renovations to accommodate a tenant, namely CFAC. That's going to take some amount of time, the balance of this year and into next year, to get that figured out, to get the improvements and upgrades made. And as an intermediate step to that end, brings us to where we are today with CFAC occupying a portion of Missoula County's admin building, and hopefully creating a seamless transition when the upgrades are completed to move you out there.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Well, I don't have anything to add. Excited.
Yeah, I would move that we authorize the chair to sign the one-year lease.
Second, any further discussion? Okay, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
So
Okay.
excited, we should be downstairs.
Welcome,
We are
Whenever you
too.
feel like being
Yeah.
downstairs.
Yeah.
welcome to our vintage building.
Yeah.
With new keys.
Yes.
Yeah,
I know,
it-
we're excited.
The
And-
cubes look nice.
That they came out pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, good value and they look good.
it's great. And we're very excited to not only be here, it's nice to be back downtown and in this space, but also really looking forward to Lalonde and all of the visions and plans that we have for that moving forward. So we're hoping to be able to use Lalonde to some degree this late summer and fall as well.
Great.
So outside, not the buildings, but yeah. So thank you.
Wonderful.
Great. Thank you.
We're getting through this. Correspondence? Discussion items?
Yeah, I thought you might want to hear an update from Adrian on the deployment.
Good morning, commissioners. So I think I sent you out an email, but as we're seeing kind of historic flooding occurring in south central Montana, specifically in the area of Yellowstone National Park, Park County, Stillwater County, and even now in Yellowstone County, the state of Montana Disaster and Emergency Services made a request to our office on Monday morning to assemble what we could of our incident management team and deploy to Carbon County to assist with that county's initial response and recovery. So we were able to assemble many of our folks out of the Office of Emergency Management, Missoula City Fire, Missoula Rural Fire, some from Frenchtown Fire, as well as bringing along some technical expertise from the city of Missoula within their GIS department, and then brought over some folks from Missoula County Public Works as well to help with some of that just infrastructure assessment and damage assessments. As you all know, we've worked really hard over the last 7 years to build this capability and this capacity within Missoula County, so that when bad things happen here, we have that capability in-house to bring and deploy an incident management team, which, really the easiest way to say it is they try to bring order to chaos. We've been very fortunate to utilize that team, not only through our most recent kind of COVID emergency response, but in floods and wildfires as well. This team has been deployed out of the county just a handful of times. During COVID, they were deployed at the request of the state to the Northern Cheyenne reservation to assist with their continuity of government operations, and were very successful in that. As well, they've participated in deployments to Florida for hurricane recovery. And so, we are incredibly grateful that we've been able to build this capability within Missoula County, but also humbled when we can offer that assistance to other communities. I've received a couple updates from the folks that are there, and it's a bad situation that those communities are facing, with being cut off, literally cut off from road traffic in some instances, drinking water being compromised, as well as just a really, really long road to recovery, with a tremendous amount of public infrastructure that's been damaged, not to mention many, many private properties. Happy to answer any questions, but I thought I'd just let you know that, they are deployed right now, pending a presidential disaster declaration, which we expect will come. Sans that, their time, effort, travel, per diem will be reimbursed back to the county and to those hosting entities that have sponsored personnel to go.
Thanks so much, Adrian. Really proud of your crew.
Yeah, I mean, I think, the commission should be proud as well, because over that last 7 years, you have given us the direction and the guidance and the support to continue building this capability, which is not without, significant effort, and does take kind of some continual care and feeding, even when we're not in a disaster. And so it's great to have that support, and I hope that you see kind of the dividends that it pays, not only to our community, but to the state.
Yeah, thanks, Adrian, and pass on our thanks to the team over there. Also, please let them know I was in Lewistown earlier in the week giving a presentation to the Montana Tourism Advisory Council, which included folks from around the state. And when I mentioned that I had just received word that we were deploying our Type 3 team to Carbon County, the room broke out into applause. So let them know that their efforts are appreciated statewide.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. I will pass that on. I think it's really gratifying for them to be able to go into these communities and to help kind of, in many cases, their counterparts who are just exhausted, and being able to give them a little bit of reprieve and bring in some structure that kind of helps set them up for what's going to be a really, really long summer and fall, and perhaps even years to come for those communities. You mentioned the economic impacts. And Nick Holloway from my office was not able to deploy initially with the team to Carbon County, but we're kind of keeping in contact with all those impacted communities, and Park County has requested some additional assistance to their emergency manager, and so Nick shuffled out the door this morning to go on that mission as well. And it's in the same spirit of deploying an incident management team. Fortunately, right now, the situation in Missoula County is pretty stable, and so we have the capacity to offer that assistance and kind of feel compelled to do so.
Excellent.
Great, thanks.
I don't know if Martin or Connor, do you have any questions for Adrian?
Hey, Adrian, it's Martin. I'm just curious if, see if I can phrase this correctly. The absence of our governor has had any impact on your response to the disaster, or has it been a fluid process without him in the picture?
You know, I think it's been a fluid process. They were able to contact his office and get the necessary authorities and approvals to declare a state disaster. And that did occur on Monday, which is part of what kind of opened the opportunity for the state to request and deploy our team in support of those local counties. So I don't think that we're seeing any kind of hindrance with him not being in state at the time. Those wheels are in motion as far as seeking federal assistance, and I don't think they've been hampered at this point.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks so much, Adrian.
Yeah, you bet. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Upcoming events, invitations. Okay, we're done in 16 minutes. Well done, everyone. Have a great day.
Goodbye.
Bye.